Welcome back to Save the Pumpkins podcast. This is your host, Amy.
And this is Shane.
Welcome back.
We are going to do something fun today.
Okay.
So, though not traditionally a fall, these are more of the mystery things that Hallmark does. They did them similarly. They would have the name like Aurora Tea Garden, Deadly Vows or whatever silly thing would be the name of it, right? They're based on books. Well, there's one with starring
Nikki.
Oh, man.
No, I'm going to say it
Don't
wrong.
disrespect Nikki.
Nikki Deloach.
Oh, Nikki Deloach.
Deloach.
Well, you know his name.
Yeah, his name is Andrew Walker.
Very, very good. And they are called the Curious Caterer Mysteries. Each one of them is called Curious Caterer, etc. And this one, do you remember what it's called?
This one is called Dying.
Keep going.
Dying for Chocolate?
It is. It's really, actually, I'm going to be honest with you before we even talk about it. I think that title's kind of dumb. That's not.
No.
I understand why it pertains to the movie. I'm not silly. But these are, by the way, these are movies not unlike Aurora Tea Garden. These aren't these and the other Hallmark movies. These are full-on movies. They say mysteries, but they're supposed to cover, I believe, one book in the series. So
Well, it's appropriate
no,
for
what happens.
what we find. Yeah.
Yeah, it's appropriate. But I think of all the things, that they could come up with, the cute names, like all the funny names they come up with and interesting ones,
I don't think people pay enough attention to those
What?
titles, and I think that they should, because if you really pay attention, even in different series that I'm watching on, Netflix or Prime or whatever, they're actually really clever.
What do you? Okay,
So
you
Dying
brought
Over
it up.
Chocolate sounds a little cheesy, but in watching the actual episode, it's actually really cute.
You think I want to make sure I have this straight. You think the title "Dying for Chocolate" is clever, not pertinent to the episode. I agree with you on that. Obviously,
But they extracted something from the episode and made it the title, which was the key point.
Oh, you like that? So you like realism. You don't like it when they're corny, like deck the holly. Bring out the holly and the Christmas ones, and her name is Holly or something funny.
Well, no,
like that.
because when you originally see it and you see Dying Over Chocolate, you think,
Dying
oh, that's
for
kind of
chocolate.
cheesy. But then when you actually see the episode, you're like, oh, if you could have thought a little bit more into
I'm gonna
that.
Stop you right there. So don't say anything. I made a decision before this I didn't tell you about because I like to keep these things spontaneous. I don't think we should do this one like we do the movies where, spoiler alert for all Hallmark movies, they all get together in the end and there's a kiss before they go off. The end. Right? There's not much. I know we talk about spoiling these things a little bit and all the other ones, but in reality, what can we spoil in a Hallmark movie? But these are mysteries. So you really don't know who done it until we go into it. We're not going to talk about the whole thing and get to the end and talk about the who done it. That's not really cool. The oldest one of these, by the way, is 2022. So they're still only a year old. Another spoiler, you should watch them. That's good. The first one's good. Anyway, we're going to watch the next two and do a try to make these short for a review. It's a little summation.
Yeah, keep the mystery going up. I see where you're going with that. That was good.
No, I'm glad you
It's a
took
good
over.
idea.
Yeah.
Just be short about it so you keep the mystery still alive.
Wow, you just took
hence
something deep. I was not
mystery.
being deep, and you thought I was being deep. It was pretty good. So let's get into this one so we don't make the episode too long.
Get into it, but not really get into it.
Oh, man. So this is, he's throwing me off completely. This is Nikki Deloach and Andrew Walker, a couple that have worked together before. I think I mentioned that I've seen interviews with them. They appear to be good friends. They worked together in Sweet Autumn, which we saw with Aunt Dee's Candy. Right, you remember that one, and it was cute. It was really, it was
they
good.
have good chemistry.
They have great chemistry. That story was kind of bonkers, bananas, and maybe not my favorite thing. So I was excited when I saw that they had a mystery together, a mystery show together, because I think Jill Wagner's done a mystery show. Obviously, when Candace Cameron Bure was with Hallmark, she did the mystery with Aurora Tea Garden, did like 17 movies. But this one is the two of them, and I was like, oh my gosh, they have such great chemistry. Clearly good friends. They have great chemistry. And so I'm not worried about that at all. I only need the story to not be stupid. And I don't think it was.
Yeah, and I honestly think that with the exception of maybe one or two characters, I thought everybody did fantastic.
Ooh, I'll be really curious to see which characters. I thought for the most part, I think I know what one of them is. And I think we're going to agree. Let's see if husband and wife agree on this one again.
Okay, well, let's...
Nikki Deloach plays the greatest name ever. You want to
Goldie Berry.
Goldie Berry. Goldie Berry. God bless the person that came up with that name in the I'm sure it was in the book, but it's wonderful. She plays Goldie Berry, a caterer in a small town. To be honest with you, don't remember the name of the town. Do you?
Isn't it like Elm or Elkville?
Yeah, something similar to that. We didn't do research because we just watched it. We didn't take any notes. We wanted to make this a little bit more spontaneous, so we don't stink at our research. We just are trying.
You just got to go with the flow. These are go with the flow. Take it for what it is. It's just fun. It's
bad.
A mystery.
Keep going. Were you gonna say something else funny?
Well, no, I'm just saying that
it all winds up in our YouTube shorts.
What?
I make YouTube shorts out of all your little sayings.
Oh no!
Keep the faith. Colin Pascal Hutton old. I make all the YouTube shorts out of your sayings, not mine. So, she plays Goldie Berry, a caterer in this very small town, and we open up and she's given a sort of. I have to open up a little bit and tell you because we meet some of the principal characters. I know we open up and we meet. What is the lady's name? It is. I think I can.
Well, I think we should just even do like a more, not necessarily, go.
Adele is her name. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. But she meets Adele. I'm just gonna do it until we get to introductory characters and the crux, the mystery to be solved. We meet Adele. Adele is a socialite, like a local socialite, a rich person, i.e. a rich person, right? And her husband Archie, and Goldie is catering.
Her second husband.
That's right. Yeah, we don't want that till later, but yeah. She is catering an event for Adele at the Boosters Club. And Adele's like, Goldie, you're really great. Archie had to twist my arm. And Archie's there, and he's a little bit of a drinker, a little bit. And he's getting a little too much to drink. They don't go crazy with that because I think they want to keep it kind of wholesome, right? And Archie breaks a glass, and Goldie talks to her friend who's there, Marla, I think is her name, and talks to her about how her other friend, Laura, we get a lot of information. If I had a problem with this movie at any point, it would be some of the pacing was a little bit weird. Like the amount of information that's given to you could have been spread out a little bit better, a little more evenly. But we learned that Goldie has a friend named Laura who is a psychiatrist at the school. And we learned that there is a rumor that Archie, Adele's husband, and her are having an affair. And now I'm about to cut off the where we discuss every little detail, because the next thing we see is Laura approaching Goldie and saying, "Hey, I want to talk to you about something." And Goldie's like, "Okay, whatever. You right now?" And she goes, "No, meet me at my house tonight." And I looked at you and said, "She's gonna die." She was like, "That's you. Whenever you tell someone it's the Scream thing, I'll be right back. You're not coming back, right?" So, no, let's talk about it at my house. So, sure enough, we get Nikki Deloach driving down the road. We still haven't been introduced to Andrew Walker, so I'm like, okay. Don't know what character he is, but I'm assuming he'll be a detective. So she's going down the road to Laura's house and comes upon an accident. I wonder.
Well, let me stop you right there for just a second.
Okay, go ahead.
So
we've already met a character that I didn't talk about. That was maybe my least favorite actor in the group so far.
Well, okay, so this series kind of strikes home to me with the game Clue. And so with me saying that,
really,
the opening scene of them being at this booster party that she's catering introduces you literally to every character, with the exception of Andrew Walker, who plays the detective. You meet the florist friend. I think her name is actually Martha.
Is it Martha? Let me go. It is Marla McGuire.
Oh, Marla. Yeah. Sorry. Okay, Marla, the friend, the florist. Goldie, the caterer. Laura, the psychiatrist. Brad, who's her daughter's teacher, who plays a role.
He is there. Yeah, that's true.
Adele.
That's true.
Archie. Her husband Archie.
You meet her ex.
And then Goldie's ex,
Goldie's ex is played by Lachlan Monroe, who's Dr. Richard Corman, the doctor,
Right.
and you meet the other guy, Dr. Owen Gentle.
Right. And then
Who was
also
Laura's
Adele's
color.
son from her previous marriage, who is Julian.
Julian, yeah. And
So-
we meet my favorite character, one of my favorite characters in the series, or in the film.
Who's that?
Riley Davis, who plays Deputy Mason.
Oh, yeah.
He was very funny. They purposely made him the little ding dong newbie cop that's going to play behind.
His right-hand
you don't meet
man.
him until the crash. You're right. Go ahead. Sorry.
But it's like they're all like, at a party. And so you're seeing everybody for like the first time, like their characters and who they are and what their role is. And then it's like,
Yeah, I get your point with the.
then the
thing. I thought it
murder
was good.
happens and it's like, dun, 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 who's done it, and
Yeah.
and I love these because I always, from the moment it happens, or I should even say before that, I'm watching everybody's character, like to see, okay, where were you? What were you doing? How are you doing it? Because the whole time I'm thinking, nope, couldn't have been this one. You know what I mean? And just mentally scratching it off of my
I
list.
mentioned this to you when I was walking down coming from the kitchen or something the other day, and I want to bring it up now. Do you like mysteries where you can figure it out, or where at the end you're like, oh, there was no way I would have. I just had to guess. Do you know what I mean? Do you
I like
like it
to
when they give you
become. I
clues
like
you
to
could
come
do?
close. Like I like to feel like I don't want it to be too obvious. But at the end, when they announce who it, or you find it out, I want to feel like I got there.
Okay, so I think you're answering my question, but I need to say it in a different way. Do you want there to have been clues that you could have spotted
Yes.
to help you solve
Yes.
it? Oh wow, okay. See, I wasn't getting that. You want that like a. Oh wait a minute, that picture.
No,
is
I don't
upside
want them
down.
to be
Somebody
so.
moved it,
I don't
or,
want them
you
to
know.
be so obvious. I want
Yeah,
them.
that's the challenge for them.
I
right, when
want
they
them
make
to
it.
have been there, and then later in the episode, them explain it a little bit more, and you be like, "Oh yeah, you got that." But then have other ones that maybe aren't as obvious, if that makes sense.
Yeah, if I could have a mystery where I could actually see something that would help me solve it, that I prefer that. But honestly, most of the time, these are, things where you just have to go with your intuition. It's not like there was you remember the show we watched, the Mole show we watched, where it turns out there were clues in the intro and all kinds of little things that were you observant enough, you could have figured them out. I like that kind of stuff, but I never know when I'm watching a mystery. This is not the kind of thing. This particular Dying for Chocolate is not the kind of thing that you can see the answers. You're just going to have to make some really good guesses by people's faces they make.
Yeah, because
Like,
at the end, I would have never
yeah.
thought that it was who it
Who
was.
it was. Yeah, I wouldn't have either, and I wouldn't have put that together. And they didn't mean for you to put it together. They meant for you to just be along for kind of a fun ride with a cool little story, like a little cozy murder mystery.
Yeah,
if
I was
could call it
entertained.
that. Yeah, I agree. But we figure out when we get back. I didn't even say what happened. She has run off of a cliff, and died. Laura, Goldie's friend, and that's where we meet Andrew Walker. Is his name's Andrew W. Walker? I keep wanting to say Andrew Walker. Was it Andrew W. Walker? Andrew? Maybe I'm just making that middle name up because I'm.
Why would it be
thinking of somebody
W
else.
and then Walker?
I have no idea. I don't know where I'm getting that from. Anyway, where we meet Andrew Walker, and he's a detective, and we get introduced to Mason, which is the other police officer that Goldie clearly knows, and we learned that Andrew Walker was a detective once in San Francisco, and he's come to this town where she is now, which is the setup for many more mysteries. I really like this one. We're not going to get into too many details because it's a mystery and because we're trying something different. We always talk about this, and when it comes to these murder mystery things, we did it with Aurora Teagarden, and I keep bringing Aurora Teagarden up. We watched 17 films and didn't do so much as one video on them. I really think we should do a video on those, but that would require us to rewatch them, and I know you don't want any part of that. Though we had a really good time with some of them. If you watch this to enjoy it, you're going to have to let go of all reality, because at several points, Andrew Walker's the detective, and he's turning to this caterer civilian and allowing her to help with this mystery when that would have just wouldn't have happened.
Well, I have to say that I thought one of the things that was really clever about it is that they put her in a profession that allowed her to be so integrated into this solving of the mystery because her job allowed her to be in these places to set up. And, you know, she's very well known because of her job, because she hosts parties and, you know, works at parties and stuff like that. So she was the perfect person to be able to help him.
I get the impression that's a byproduct of the books, that's why they were written that way, because she is, you're right, exactly what you're saying is, I get the impression is the reason why the writer wrote the books, because she could be in those places and had a reason that would make some sense.
Yeah. So I thought that was cute. So there could never really be questioning of her, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Like, by the people, because she's doing her job, and in doing her job is able to be snoopy and, you know, see things and hear things.
Well, there's a built-in excuse when she's walking around the house as a caterer and somebody finds her and they go, what are you doing in this room? She gets to go, oh, just kind of looking for places I can stage my cooking or whatever silly thing it is. And the person isn't immediately on to her.
Right. And because it's a small town and she knows everybody, she's, you know, not going to be questioned necessarily.
Yeah, that's true. But I was speaking more to your idea that a caterer was a good idea to have. And I 100% agree. Oh, man, I did it again with the 100%. I agree with you completely.
When you're right, you're right.
Yeah, that's right. I did want to mention, and I find this stuff more interesting. Nobody else will. But this one is directed by Anthony C. Mecchi. And I looked him up. So this is how you get to be a director in Hallmark films. We've talked about this. This stuff is fascinating to me. I'm as fascinated with how these things are made. I would love to have, as a guest host on this podcast one day, either one of the stars or one of the directors, in order and instead of fawning all over them, whoever they are, I'd be like, how is this made? This guy that made this is a director of photography or cinematographer on over 100 films. 75 to 80% of them being Hallmark films. So he was the director of photography. He said, shoot this. That's what will look appropriate for this scene, right? We're going into the building. It will be more tense if we shoot it from over here, that kind of thing. He did that for over 100 films and got to the point where they were like, you know, when you think about their Hollywood counterparts, you think about people like Steven Spielberg and things like that, where they, or whoever, whatever director, Martin Scorsese, whoever you want to think of, who will be over there and is the director, right? They have these defined roles, but Hallmark is a machine. They're able to pump these things out because they have a blueprint, and they go with what works and what worked in the previous films. I just think it's fascinating. This guy has directed the Dickens of a Christmas or whatever that we liked. We saw we liked with the.
Well, I mean, all of the
really well done.
Yeah, I mean, all of the scenery and everything like that was not one of those, you know, cheesy sets or whatever. I mean, the houses, you know.
I usually like my mysteries to be a little spooky, and I thought this one had some moments where they were like, you know, starts out with her running in the woods. It does a little Pulp Fiction thing where you kind of see things in out of order a little bit. Not Pulp Fiction, but you know what I mean. I like them to be a little spookier. And this one, the town, wherever they are, it seems like it's constantly raining or a little fall looking, which I think is good. I think that adds to mysteries. Whenever there's a mystery in the middle of the summer, I always think, oh, it's kind of right?
Yeah.
Make it
no,
darker.
I mean,
and
I thought that it was appropriate for discussion in this genre that we're doing.
What do you think about their chemistry again? It's just never hasn't lost a beat.
I think I think you can give them an impromptu script.
Yep.
You know, and they carry it out.
When he came over to her house and was talking to her and was still kind of thinking she might be a suspect or whatever. You remember when he came over to the house and she was like chopping carrots or whatever it was, very early in the film. And she's still frazzled about having lost her friend or whatever. And he's kind of peeping around the house, kind of looking to see things. And was exactly what Hallmark needs to show to every star and director of its future films and say, this is what we're going for. The level of comfort that these two stars feel in the same room, they act the way around each other that only friends kind of can. Do you know what I mean? Like, and And I'm not trying to give actors an excuse. Every actor is supposed to be able to act like whatever, because it's literally their job is to be an actor and act like something that is different from who they are. But these two's charisma, I don't mean like romantic charisma. There's a dash of that in this, clearly, right? A little dash of it that they're trying to flirt with, a romance there. But it's not it's certainly not the focus in the film. The mystery is the focus in the film, which is good. But their charisma, when they're on the screen, I want to see more of them when they're not on the screen, is why you...
Well, I think when an actor or actress finds their thing, like, and so the Aaron Cahills and the Nikki Deloach and the Andrew Walker and the Tyler Hines and the Jesse Hutch, like, I think like these Hallmark movies are their thing. I think if you took them out of that and put them in something else, we may not see them the same way. And I think that, that's very important. So to make a good movie.
If you took all of Tyler Hines' Nathan Fillion DVDs away from him and he didn't know how to act anymore, he didn't go, I don't guess I'll be over here.
Hey, leave Tyler Hines alone.
I love Tyler Hines, but I think the dude is the president of the Nathan Fillion fan club. So,
yeah,
what a fan club to be the president of.
Well, I mean, so far we've seen characters that resemble Nathan Fillion,
For sure.
Characters
Biff.
that resemble Biff from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
So
we don't talk about that movie anymore on this podcast. So. I thought this was really cool. There are two more of them. We'll be reviewing those as well, talking about them. As an intro, it's a little hard to look at on an island, but as an intro, I want to see the two of them more. I fear a little bit that it's going to get a little more ridiculous with, okay, dude, you're going to have to, she's a caterer. The next mysteries had better fall in her lap again, because if they don't, she's got no business as a civilian sticking her nose in. Like, I can suspend my disbelief a little bit. But if like she just comes around and starts helping him, and there isn't catering involved in the plot, that's going to be a problem.
I think they'll come through for us.
Well, their charisma's going to come through. Like the two of them together, their on-screen chemistry is going to be fantastic. I thought the kid that played Mason was fantastic. Who was one of the standouts? I'm trying to think of standouts. I don't like the.
Well, I'll tell you the two people that I was not impressed with.
Oh, good. I don't like the acting job. I need to be clear. I don't hate any actors or actresses or anything like that. I am not in love with the acting job that her husband, her ex-husband, rather, played. I just didn't. There was something off about it. But go ahead.
I thought Dr. Owen Gentle. Oh. And Julian, the son,
that's maybe Julian was on screen for like 10
I know,
minutes.
but when he was, I was just unimpressed. So those are just the two characters that, if I'm going to say anything negative, and not that I'm saying it, extremely negative, it's just I wasn't too impressed. But with that being said, I suggest highly that you all give this
for sure
a chance, and like Shane said, we'll follow up with the other two once we
be on the lookout for Marla as well. Marla's pretty great. Hope Marla comes back.
Yeah.
In the next episodes, I think she's going to be the what was Sally? Wasn't the friend or T. Garden's friend? Because she's a florist.
Right.
You brought it up. I didn't even remember she was a florist. Because they work together so closely. I think she's going to be like a little confidant.
Right.
They may just steer her towards him and forget about confidants.
Right.
But,
well, just pay attention to the title of the episodes.
Yep. That's
my suggestion.
This one is Dying for Chocolate. What would you give it? I think we did one
I would give it a 4.5 out of 5.
Oh wow, that's maybe more than me. I would give it a 4. I liked it a lot, but I want to see some more. I want to see it get good and tense. When she was in the closet, the one scene when she was in the closet was nice and tense. I want it to be tense again, and because she can act.
Right.
You got to give these guys, you got to let them stretch their wings, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That was so odd.
Okay. All right. That's it. You got anything you want to wrap it up with?
Nope. Just remember, take time to do something that makes you happy.
That's right. Thanks, guys.